Hola, buenos días, buenas tardes, and welcome to our video today. And our video is we're going to talk about the past. And the past tense in Spanish is called el pretérito, or the preterite in English. But that just means the past. So we're going to look at some regular verbs today. And as always with Spanish, we're talking about the verbs, we're talking about endings. So we're going to have a look at some of the important endings of the verbs. First of all, let's have a look at some useful expressions. So first we have ayer. Ayer is yesterday. So we have to have some, we have to use some expressions to talk about the past, and these are typical ones in any language. Ayer. If you want a way of remembering it, you have the ye in ayer and the ye in yesterday. Ayer. La semana pasada. So most of us know la semana, and the pasada just means past or last. Semana pasada. El año pasado. El año pasado is last year. Año is year. So we're going to use those three expressions in this little lesson. Let's have a look at some of the verbs. So just to repeat, sorry, before we go on. Ayer, yesterday. La semana pasada, last week. El año pasado, last year. So let's see how we form the past tense. We're going to take the first verb, trabajar, or verb. All these are all regular verbs. Ayer yo trabajé. Ayer tú trabajaste. Ayer él trabajó. Ayer nosotros trabajamos. Ayer vosotros trabajasteis. Ayer ellos trabajaron. So the important thing here are the endings. And the endings are the same for all or regular verbs. And this is the best way really of learning it. Haste o, amos hastes aron. Here we have it here. Haste o, amos hastes aron. It's first, second, third person. We'll do some practice in a second. Let's have a look at the ER verbs. Comer. Comer. So it's an ER because the infinitive ends in ER, but we can't just use the infinitive on its own, so we have to conjugate the verb. Ayer yo comí. Ayer tú comiste. Ayer ella comió. Ayer nosotros comimos. Ayer vosotros comisteis. Ayer ellos comieron. Comí, comiste, comió, comimos, comisteis, comieron. So how do we form this? We take off the ER. Take off the ER from the infinitive and add on the endings. So it's iste, io, imos, istes, ieron. Iste, io, imos, istes, ieron. And luckily, for the IR verb, so we have escribir, it's a regular IR verb. Luckily, the endings are the same as the ER verbs. Escribí, escribiste, escribió, escribimos, escribisteis, escribieron. Exactly the same endings. Iste, io, imos, istes, ieron. So in fact, we've only got two sets of endings for the regular past tense, which makes things a little more simple than it appears at first. So if it's an AR verb, haste o, amos, hastes, aron. If it's an ER or IR verb, iste, io, imos, istes, ieron. So that's the theory. Let's have a look at the practice. So we're going to start with some AR verbs. ¿Cómo se dice en español? Pensar. Pensar. To think. That's a regular AR verb. That's a radical changing verb in the present tense. But in the past, it's totally regular. And this happens with a lot of radical changing verbs. So let's look at some more AR verbs. There are two possible ones here, but let's just use llamar, to call. Let's look at another one. We'll do some practice in a second. ¿Cómo se dice en español? To cook, ¿cómo se dice? Cocinar. Regular AR verb. Next verb. This one is supposed to be to love. Amar. Again, totally regular AR verb. And one more. To speak. ¿Cómo se dice? Hablar. Hablar. Okay, so let's have a look at some of these AR verbs. There's one more actually. And this one. ¿Cómo se dice? To close en español. This is also a radical changing verb in the present, but in the past, again, it's totally regular. Begins with a C. ¿Cómo se dice? Cerrar. Cerrar. Okay, so let's try these with the first person. So they're all AR verbs. The first person, let's go back. Trabajé. So it's an E accent. That's all we do. So let's do some practice. ¿Cómo se dice? I thought. Pensé. Pensé. I rang. Llamé. I cooked. Cociné. I loved. Amé. I spoke. Hablé. I closed. ¿Cómo se dice? Cerré. So that's not too difficult. Take off the AR, put on the E accent. That's all we do for the past tense. That's in the first person for AR verbs. Let's practice the third person very quickly with some of the verbs. So, third person is él o ella. So it's trabajó. Again, don't forget the accent when you're writing it. When you're speaking it, it gives us the emphasis, the O. So let's practice the third person with some of these verbs very quickly. She thought. Ella pensó. She cooked. Cocinó. And he closed. Cerró. Okay, let's do some practice with the IR verbs, IR and ER. So first of all, this is to order in a restaurant. ¿Cómo se dice? Begins with a P. Pedir. We'll go through the verbs first and then we'll practice. To get or to receive begins with an R. Recibir. Recibir. To run, ¿cómo se dice? Begins with a C. Correr. Correr. To lose. This picture is supposed to indicate to lose. This person is losing their stuff. Perder. And finally, let's do this one. This should be to return. Volver. So let's do some practice. First person again. So let's go back. Comí. And with the IR verb, escribí. So the first person is I. So let's just do some practice. Back to the IR, ER verbs. So I ordered. ¿Cómo se dice? Pedí. I got, I received. Recibí. I ran. Corrí. I lost. ¿Cómo se dice? Perdí. I returned. Volví. Okay, so let's just mix them up a little bit. We did the yo form for both. So let's take another form. Let's take the nosotros. So remember, for the nosotros, for the AOR verb, it is trabajamos, it's amos. It's actually the same ending as in the present. For the IR, it's imos. So we've got two possibilities, amos or imos. That's all. So let's do some. We rang. ¿Cómo se dice? Nosotros le llamamos. Bien. We received. ¿Cómo se dice? Nosotros recibimos. We returned. ¿Cómo se dice? Nosotros volvimos. And we cooked. ¿Cómo se dice? Nosotros cocinamos. We'll do one more little bit of practice. Let's use the él and the ella. It's a common form. This time we're going to use one of our expressions. Ayer, yesterday. La semana pasada, last week. El año pasado, last year. So I'll give you something a little more complex to do. Yesterday, she thought. ¿Cómo se dice? Ayer, ella pensó. Last week, she loved. La semana pasada, ella amó. Yesterday, I ordered fish. Sorry, he ordered fish. Ayer, él pidió pescado. Pidió pescado. Pedir, pidió. And last year, she ran. El año pasado, ella corrió. Corrió. He came back yesterday. Él volvió ayer. Él volvió ayer. Okay, we'll do some more blogs and videos on the past tense in the future. That's just a short introduction. There'll be Quizlets and other exercises to do more practice with the Pretérito. So, thanks for watching today. See you soon.